Salute to you all. The brave never fall. It's time to explore your pain. If pain is something you've had trouble dealing with your entire life, it's really important for yourself primarily. It's always about yourself first. If you can't fix yourself first and you can't deal with the pain inside of you first, you can't explore that. That's a huge issue for yourself. And I think you know that if you're listening to this. It's a beautiful morning. I'm outdoors as always. When it comes to nature and I do my morning walk, some of the best things that come to my mind will spring up, and especially at the beginning of a week where it's real easy to kind of drag along in life. But no. You got to get outside sometimes and just take it all in and be reminded that you're really, really small and that there are so many bigger, larger things going on in this world. And because you feel like you're alone, it's easy to forget that you're actually connected to so much more. Which is why I encourage so many people to go outside and explore yourself out there and dig deep into your mind, into your heart, into your soul. Dig up all those negative emotions that you have, all that pain and anxiety and paranoia and doubt in your mind. All that stuff is so much easier to deal with when you're outdoors versus indoors. There's nothing wrong with facing your problems indoors, but I always recommend, as a side note to this, to get outdoors and inhale as much fresh air as you possibly can. Get out early, stay out late, so you can feel that change in the weather. You can see that sun rise. You can see that sun fall. It's important because it reminds you that everything's in motion and that you're connected to it. When you watch a sunrise, you're connected to that sunrise. The same when the sun goes down, you're watching something. And at that point, you're connected. I think that's important to explore yourself in those moments when you're looking at something like a sunrise or a sunset, or even you're just in the middle of the night and you're staring up at the moon. You can feel the sense of connection you have to something that is so far away, but it seems like it's right there. And often when you dig inside of your mind and your body, you feel the same thing. It's almost as if all the emotions that you have are so close to you. They're just right on top of you and they're weighing you down, but at the same time they seem so far away as in terms of dealing with them and being able to actually figure out just how valuable it is to have those emotions in your life or lack thereof. Some people thrive off of those emotions. I know I do. I don't ever want to forget everything that negatively that happened in my life. I don't want to forget them. I remind myself of them often because it puts things into perspective. You can frame so many different things that are positive in your life out of negative experiences. And I believe truly in my heart that when I was numbing all those experiences by running away from them and doing whatever I could to kind of just put a blanket over all those negative things, instead of just pulling the blanket back and picking up whatever I was afraid of and acknowledging it and seeing how far I actually came from those negative experiences, even when I wasn't trying. Those are powerful things. Exploring your pain is very important. I know for me, it was absolutely essential for me to start figuring out what the hell was actually wrong with me. And why am I so overly emotional in moments where people expect me to be strong? And then I also realized that was an issue. I cared too much about what people thought of me. So you put on a fake facade. People expect me to be strong, so I'm going to be strong. I don't really know how, so I'll fake it. I'll fake it till I make it. And that's what I did. But when you're spending all this time into faking it, you're forgetting you're working on a false shell of yourself that is going to crumble and break because you can't remember how to put together all these little pieces that don't really go together because that's not who you are. You didn't start with the right foundation. You didn't explore who you actually are before you started working on this fake person and putting all this prioritization into somebody who is never going to exist longer than in a blink of an eye, in human lifespan, a blink of an eye. That's all it is. You're creating a temporary show to get you through some moments and to impress some people who are flawed themselves. Just think about this. You're trying to impress people who are flawed. That's some deep stuff there. When you start getting into a realm where you're prioritizing who you are based on what other people perceive you to be, that's an issue. Unfortunately, we live in society now where that is pretty much what we do all the time. You look at social media and you see things and people and you want those things. Or some people may say, oh, you're so funny. I really like you. And then you realize, who is this person? It's just a person who just comments this on my comment section every once in a while. Or they like some of my posts, but they don't know who I am. So why am I doing all these things to impress these people? Or am I doing it because I truly believe this is who I am? I can't do these podcasts if I'm not authentic behind what I'm saying. I would feel like a fraud, a fake shell facade of myself. I would have no basis to say a word. I'd be faking it till I make it. But I've explored my pain. I've explored all the known pains that I know, because unfortunately in life is going to go on whether you like it or not. As long as you're taking in air and your heart's beating, your mind's working, you're going to experience life, and life is going to throw some curveballs at you, some big time curveballs. And there'll be things that pop up that you hadn't thought about in a very long time, and it'll offer pain into your heart, one more time. Right when you think you figured everything out, something will pop up, and here you are again figuring out what to do. Which is why exploring your pain is so important. Don't wait to do this type of stuff. Exploring your mind and your heart and your body, and learning more about spiritual ways of meditating and thinking deeper into your connection in this world and to the people who are closest to you, what your purpose could be if you don't know what it is. Everybody has a purpose. Everyone. I figured out my purpose. It took me 40 years to figure out what I'm doing right now is my purpose. My purpose was always to help people. I remember even when I was a kid, people called me the Jedi. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. People called me the Jedi not only because I love Star Wars, but because I acted like a Jedi. I was always trying to help people and not drawing attention to myself when I did it. I did it subconsciously. I didn't even realize that's what I've been doing my whole life, is helping people. It's who I am. But this entire time, this 40 years so far, I had no clue that's what I was meant to do. And then once I dug into my pain and I stopped waiting and I attacked my fears, I got over the hump. And the fears for me were very simple. I couldn't help anyone because I was afraid to even put myself out there. I was afraid of people believing I was something I wasn't. I didn't want the responsibility of being strong enough and held accountable for what I was saying. It's easy to say, I don't want to do it. I just love doing all this stuff that is lazy and procrastinating and really not that important, and I just will get by. I want to do only things that are fun for me. I want to eat all the food, so I'll do bodybuilding. Even though I really wish I was 40 pounds lighter, but I love to eat, so I'll just be a bodybuilder. Even though my body is not made for bodybuilding. So you're creating, again, a fake shell of yourself. I need confidence, so I'll just drink a lot because that helps with my confidence. It helps with my creativity. Your mind will create excuses for you because your mind, it wants you to be challenged in some ways, but at the same time, your mind really wants you to be comfortable and happy with yourself. Your heart is what wants you to challenge yourself. Your heart is saying, there's some really great feelings in here that you haven't explored yet. Why aren't you pushing the boundaries for yourself? Why aren't you going a little bit further? Why aren't you exploring this a little further? You don't have forever on this planet. You're not guaranteed another second on this planet. And neither are the people around you. At any moment, your life could change. You can't wait. You have to attack your pain. You have to attack your love. It's the fire inside of you that has to be explored. You have to fuel the fire of your mind and your body and your soul. Your spirit. Your spirit is what's so important. Because that's who you are. Your soul, when you leave this planet, it's just too much connectivity for you just to go away and not have any purpose, any meaning in this world beyond your body. finding out who you are is so important in that regard. And it's just one of those things where no one can tell you who you are. You have to figure it out yourself. And it takes a long time to do that. Have you done it? Have you done the homework to try to figure out who you are? Have you talked to people who have been where you would like to be? How do you feel in this moment today? If you died today, how would people remember you? Not what you did 20 years ago, or if you're younger, what you did a year and a half ago. Right now, what have you done in the last few hours? What are your habits? What drives you? If there was no one to motivate you, how would you motivate yourself? If there was no one to love you, how could you get to a place where you could love yourself? If there was no one to walk on the journey with you on your path of life, would you be comfortable with making it alone? Do you break at the first sign of trouble? Do you care about what other people think of you? Do you wake up stressed out and go to bed stressed out? Do you look in the mirror and like what you see? Is there something about yourself you want to change? And if so, are you putting in 100% of what you think is 100%? Or are you really putting in around 25 to 30% and saying that's good enough? Are you using the word can't a lot in your life? Do thoughts like I'm not capable of doing this pop up throughout the day? Do you feel like you're intelligent, and do you feel like you have the thirst to learn more? How often do you look at other people and wish you were them? How many times a day do you feel like you're disappointing yourself? When was the last time you communicated how you truly felt to someone, whether it was positively or negatively? When was the last time you told someone you loved them that you truly love? When was the last time you did something that pushed you as a person and you felt great afterwards, whether it was mentally, physically, emotionally? When was the last time you really explored one thing and got tremendous value out of it, and you felt great? You felt as if you really achieved and accomplished something. When was the last time that happened, and how did you feel afterwards, and why haven't you done it again if you haven't? Those are just a few things I think about every single day. I've drilled it into my subconscious that I don't have to think about it anymore. What those questions are just a factory, an assembly line of my self-discipline. I like those questions. I want to answer them every single day. They're very important because they're the blueprint of who you are in this moment. None of that stuff will define you tomorrow. It's who you are today. It's who you are in this moment. If you died right now, what would people think of you? And that's in your hands. That's control you have. That's not something you pass the baton to someone else and say, you figure it out. How people remember you is solely on you. How people think of you right now while you're alive is even more important. Because people can see through your actions what you're doing. I challenge you to not talk, do. That's how you quiet people. That's how you get the doubters to stop doubting you. That's how you get the people who loved you already to appreciate you and respect you even more. When you can wake up every day and get after it and challenge yourself every day, but Show people you're also extremely proud of all of those things that you are, flawed or not. But as long as you're getting after it and you're saying, I'm doing all that I can, maybe my 100% isn't the same as yours, but I'm getting after it. I'm getting after it. What are you doing, people? Because I'm trying to add value to my life. I'm trying to be the best person I can. I'm stoking my own fire. Through self-discipline, self-love, raising that bar to a very high value, not making excuses, and I'm attacking it. If no one else has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. You're strong, you're beautiful, and you're going to get through this. Salute to you. The brave never fall.